And there we go. Now you can see me, and we are live. Let's get things set up here. I can get logged in. All right. Oh, so how's everybody doing? Let's wait for some people to hop on here, shall we? So here we are again, working on our weird boy here. Slowly, ever so slowly coming together. Ever so slowly coming together. I'm going to get some more silver going here for these, all the little bits and pieces and all that on his armor. Going to get that done up. Add some water and do 2 thin coats, right? That's what we're supposed to do, right? 2 thin coats on everything. As our overlord Duncan Rhodes always says. No, I'm kidding. Hello. Yes, happy Saturday. Wow. Yes, it is Saturday, and we are painting more orchage. Dang. We're also painting ourselves, apparently. I got some paint on myself and my brush. Not good. How's it going, Mr. Fish? How's it going? See, I remember now. It's all coming together. It's all going according to plan. Except that I painted myself. I didn't want to do that. So how have you been, my friend, on this lovely Saturday? I'm just trying to get a metal collar done here without touching the green that I've already put down. Probably should have done this collar first. Okay. I don't know. Anywho, we're gonna get this guy done up. Doing well, having way too many life debates for every game tomorrow on tournament. Oh yeah. No. What army, I should say, I ask. I say that already knowing you're, I'm assuming you're going to be bringing your orcs to that you've been working so diligently and on. I'm assuming you'll be bringing the orcs. Yeah. You know, well, good luck with that. Good luck with the tournament. And what, but if I may ask, not that I'm the list building expert I used to be, but what pray tell is the debate you're having? Well, I'm going to assume it's what units you're wanting to bring and numbers and all that good stuff. Seems to be the main issue everyone has when it comes to list building and such. Good Lord, this guy's got a lot of bits on him. Lots of them are hidden away. There we go. That's better. Is better. So I'm assuming that it's what units to bring, what units you think are going to do their job, what units aren't. So it's going to be saying bring 2 Stompas. I'm thinking 1 Stompa and a bunch of Squig Boys. That could be good. 2 Stompas, though. I mean, Stompa is nothing to laugh at. Again, depending on what type of army you're trying to play, Stompas, I mean, they put out a ton of firepower, which is always good. But they can, I guess, in other ways, leave you, I guess, vulnerable, right? They don't do a lot of moving, right? But it's up to you. I personally may go with the Stompas and Squig Boys. So it's good to have some extra boys out there. Again, the game is very weird that way right now. Hopefully 10th will straighten things out a bit. But we'll talk about 10th a little bit. I've just got to get that silver. Come on. There we go. I say you do, this is just me though, I'd say a Stompa and the unit of Squig Boys for fun. Also maybe some, I'm not sure if they are able to secure objectives or not. My brother, Mythos, my brother, how's it going? Yeah, I've been running a speedwalk for a league and been getting my butt handed me. Yeah, that is a big thing. 13 points. Yeah, I would maybe, as I said, drop the Stompa and go for the Squig Boys. They may flow a little better in terms of, the whole speed wog. Stompas are good, but again, they're slow. Not that they have to be super crazy fast because, they're Stompas. Their job is to stomp and blow things up, but Squig Boys may be able to get you to those objectives faster, be able to respond to different threats on the battlefield a bit faster than a Stompa can. Again, that's just me. I may be wrong. But yeah. And how are you doing, Mythos, my brother? How's it going? We're working on our orc some more. Still working on all the fiddly little bits here, all the metal bits that I got to get done. I'm almost there. Anyways, again, this is just the first layer on there. I have more to do. Unfortunately, big targets in ninth is going to be focused down to us. That is true. They make for nice, juicy targets, which is kind of the point, I think, of them a bit. To make your opponent choose between the big, scary monster that's lurking in the backfield, or opposed to the big mob of scary orcs that are in the forefield, right? Unfortunately, yeah, with ninth and all that. Again, that's why 10th is changing. Yeah, I'll bring Snagger Boys, Commandos, and Grots, my solo Stompalist, and Kill Rig, 2 Beast Boss, and Squeagosaur. I'll have so many distraction threats I can play the game. Yeah, that's true. That's good. And then Grots seem to be the way to go. Knights are easy to kill now as well. So yeah. I've seen Knights go down so quick. There was a time I remember back in, God, it would have been 5th edition, I think it was, or 4th edition, when Apocalypse came out. Excuse me, people started dropping Knights. Put down, it took considerable amounts of firepower to drop one. And I'm talking not Knights, but Titans. And even when the Knights came out in 6th edition, 7th edition, I think it was 6th edition, they were a prospect to fight. You're like, wow, I have to put substantial assets into taking these guys down. And now I've seen them drop like that, right? I'm hoping 10th will change that. We'll talk about 10th a little bit. I'll work on this guy here. There's so many little bits on this guy that I gotta get done. Working on. He's got some sort of little fetish in his ears here. I want to get done. There we go. I think we're almost done all the stuff on his body here. Yeah, one squad of 10 Snag Boys console the mini knights during the WOG, mathematically speaking. That is, yeah. If you can math hammer something to death, there's a very good chance in the field. Yeah, you can take them down. Yeah, I remember when Knights first came out. I'm talking even the basic Knights before they added all the extra Gribblies and all that. They were something people were like, wow, I really don't want to face a Knight. And now they just don't have the same. I don't think they have the same impact they used to. The real reason for doing YouTube is so able to finish painting one more model. There you go. See, it's about being able to play and efficiency when painting your models. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. Nothing wrong with that. But yeah, so look up here, 10th edition. We keep getting the little we keep feeding us breadcrumbs, just chucking breadcrumbs here, feed, tickle them. Tickle their balls, tickle them around. There was the chaos stuff, but I don't care about that. Necron stuff, not what I really want. What I like is, of course, looked at the Space Marine stuff. Obviously, there's been lots of changes in the pictures. I'm just looking at stuff now. The new Dreadnoughts, you have Terminators. The new Terminators coming out of a Land Raider. It's nice to see Drop Pod with the new Stern Guard coming out. The new Combat Doctrines stuff. I like the combat doctrines. Just looking here, yeah. Start of your command phase, you select one combat doctrines list below. Start your next command phase, combat doctrine is active. Its effects apply to all Adeptus Astartes units from your army with the ability you can only set one combat doctrine. Each combat art once per battle. And that is kind of a downside, but Devastator, this unit, yeah, if you use a Devastator's doctrine, the unit is eligible to shoot and turn into advance, which is actually pretty cool. A tactical doctrine. This is a cool one. It can shoot and declare a charge a turn, which it fell back, which is great. You get charged by something that's going to come at you, like rip you apart. You can fall back and then shoot and charge it instead. Of course, in the new rules, well, it's a fall over from the last couple editions. Whoever charges gets to go first outside of extra gear. And assault doctrine, use eligible to declare a charge and turn, which, yeah. So a lot of it is either be able to shoot or charge. Of course, we get the land rear, which is it's a beefy beast. 16 wounds, 2+ armor save, an OC of 5, so that's pretty cool, right? Toughness 12. Let's see, we get the Godhammer Las. See, that's the funny thing. It's strength 12. It's toughness 12 now, but the Godhammer Las cannons are strength 12, D6 plus 1 damage, AP minus 3. The multi-melta, the storm bolters, twin heavy bolters, which are nice. Twin linked is always good, and I do like this whole deadly demise thing, and the fact that they've simplified the whole damage, 1 to 5 wounds remaining. It just basically makes you shoot or attack less, right? It may, which is fine, which is good. Systems are shutting down. Of course, we can't go anywhere without talking about the beast that Guilliman became. Now, obviously, we don't know exactly how the whole combat thing works, but if we just look at his stat line, he's toughness 9, 2+ armor save, 10 wounds, movement 8. But the fact that the Emperor's sword gives him 14 attacks, and the Hand of Dominion gives him 7 attacks. 21 attacks from one model. Now, I don't know if the rules are going to require us to split them or choose one or the other, but the fact that Guilliman can put out 21 attacks is just awesome. I don't even know what to say about it. You know what I mean? Oh, wow, yeah. I got to get caught up here. Yeah. Being able to pick your doctrines really seems really handy. It is. You want to see Mastodon? Hello, Hell Child. There you go, man. I want to see Mastodon stats. Yeah. I think. See, Meathis, you said that the not seeing stats until shortly after release. I like that because Forge World was the. How do I put this? Forge World seemed to be the loose cannon of the last couple editions. Either the rules were just overpowered or underpowered, or just it's like they were just put Forge World out in there somehow and we'll make it work at some point. I don't really think it was 100% thought through using Forge World in the last couple editions. What do you guys think of I like it. The fact that we're going to Plastic Knights is amazing. It is a bit sad to me because Forge World was, for the longest time, the big producer of these things. It was where you got elite models, right? It wasn't about putting out basic stuff. It was putting out the big things, the big models, the big units, these uber units that just weren't in the normal codex because they were so powerful. And they're still that way a bit. Obviously, the Horus Heresy stuff has really, really taken over and driven things big time. Excuse me. It's really, the game has really taken over everything. Look at the Forge World website, and that's all it is, mostly. But yeah, I think the fact that we're going to see Plastic Knights is going to be great. Will it reduce the price? Probably not. But yeah, man. I'm still. Actually, I'm just looking at the website now, and I'm looking at the this stat line difference here between just looking at Gulliman here. It's just amazing. Weapon skill 2+, he's strength 8, the Emperor's Sword, and has devastating wounds. Strength 14 with a Hand of Dominion. Lots of cool stuff. Primarch of the 13th. While friendly Adeptus starts unit 6 census model, add 1 to objective control characters to models. That's cool. And you can reroll Battle Shock and Leadership test taken from you. And see, here's the thing. That got me interested. Battle Shock and Leadership. So most of the time you take a leadership test. That's the way it is. But Battle Shock is obviously, that's sort of the morale. And leadership is different. So obviously there's going to be stuff that's just Battle Shock and stuff that's going to require a separate test away from them. I love the Knight Lancers come in plastic as one, but most of the resin ones end up with lip lances. Devastating wounds is an odd one with 6 and more with 6. Yeah, that's cool. So, yeah, he's gonna be dishing out a lot of damage with that weapon. Yeah, Mythos talking about limp lances. Jesus, Mythos. Yeah, I'm sure. I've heard the Adeptus Mechanicus is an ointment for that. Master of Battle. Once you select your Oath of the Moment ability, which is really cool, select the second enemy unit. Ooh, that's nasty. So Master Battle. So the Oath of the Moment, basically at the beginning of your command phase. I think it was the command phase. I might be wrong. Oath of the Moment, yeah. If your army faction is Adeptus Astartes, at start of your command phase, select 1 unit for your opponent's army. Until start your next command phase, yeah, you can re-roll hit and re-roll wounds against that unit. The fact that with this, you can do it twice in one turn, right? Which is nasty. The flesh is weak, but the Mechanicus, yeah. The Mechanicus always willing, man. And Supreme Strategist, yeah, you can use... once per turn, you target 1 friendly Adeptus Stars unit with a 12 inches model with a stratagem for 0 CP, and do so even if another unit from Mars has already been targeted with that stratagem's phase. That's awesome. Yeah, man, this guy's cool. 4+ invulnerable save. He's got the in your command phase, select 1 author of the Codex ability. See left. Until the start of your next command phase, this model has ability. Okay, so author of the Codex, it's not working all the time. He gets a choice. Okay, that's different. And the Bodyguard, he has a lone operative ability. Not sure what that 100% means, but I think that's kind of taking over for the Lookout, sir. And an Armor of Fate. If it's destroyed, roll d6 in the phase, and 3+ models back up on the battlefield as close as possible. It was destroyed, and not with engagement range of any models with 6 moons remaining. So that's pretty freaking awesome. Yeah, man, he's awesome. Jeez. And of course, we have the heavy onslaught Gatling cannon, a heavy laser destroyer, which is strength 16. Ouch. So much cool stuff. Can't wait for this stuff to come out. I think it's going to be bloody amazing. Yeah, man, there's so much cool stuff. I can't wait for 10th to come out. Yeah. That's the thing. I'm actually, the fun thing is I'm on vacation next week. A much needed, much deserved vacation. Work has been absolutely kicking my butt. It has been for the last couple months. It's been absolutely insane. The only painting I had done is during these things. I have a week off now, which is great. I'm so happy for that. Allow me to get some painting done, some stuff done around the house, spend more time with my family. I can't wait. But there is a point to this. Basically, the only 40King I've been doing is playing, what is it? Inquisitor Martyr, which is a fantastic game. If you haven't played it, you definitely need to give it a go. I have it on the PlayStation 4. It is freaking... It's almost like old school Diablo, where you just get lots of weapons, fight lots of monsters. And this one, of course, it's, so far in all the different missions, the main storyline, I fought cultists, Chaos Space Marines, Drukhari, Tyranid, Chaos Demons, like Bloodletters, fight a great unclean one at one point. There's oh god, just all like the demons of all sorts of demons of chaos, lots of cool stuff like that. I fought as my Inquisitor character. At one point, I hopped into I think it's a Shadow Sword, the big tank killing Baneblade variant. There's a couple times I played as a knight, just absolutely annihilating the enemies of the Emperor. The storyline is fantastic. I picked what's called a Tactical Inquisitor. So I've got, I'm a bit slower, but I get access to heavier weapons and power armor because, I'm a Astartes at heart. I got to go for the power armor, but right now he's armed with a Artificer plasma cannon well, you can switch out. I have a storm shield and a power sword. Of course, all these have different attributes and help with different builds, and there's a whole skill tree for everything. Everything from close combat, ranged, using flamer weapons, support, buffs, your health, the whole shebang, right? It's a lot of fun, and that's basically how I've been doing any sort of hobbying, playing this game, beating the heck out of the bad guys. It's cool. There's a really interesting story. I'll pick that back up after I finish Vampire. Yeah, it's a lot of fun, and I've the story's not like groundbreaking when it comes to 40K in any way, shape, or form, but it is a lot of fun. The voice acting is good. There's lots of little, subtle nods to other 40K stuff, little twists and turns, of course, with it being about the Inquisition. You're a really interesting story, sir. With all the Inquisition stuff, of course, there's twists and turns and lies and secrets. You get to meet rogue traders and members of the Adeptus Mechanicus and Space Marines. And I don't want to give away details because the story itself is actually pretty interesting. Like I said, and there's lots of twists and turns. My character's Imperial Crusader. Yeah, the sword and shield's pretty cool. Of course, every weapon has special abilities. You can just normal fire with the plasma cannons, normal fire, just boof, boof, boof. Do a rapid fire thing that fires out a ton of plasma shots at once, which is great for taking on hordes. You have one that shoots one stronger blast, which is great for hitting Space Marines or like the big demon things, the greater demons like bloodletters. Yeah, especially good for. And then you have one that actually shoots out a whole bunch of blasts in a certain area. You see a little blast template come out, blows things up. But yeah, I fought Drakari, which was cool. I fought so many different things. The Tyranid stuff was pretty cool too. Fought Eldari as well. Fought some Wraith Lords, Wraith Knights, Wraith Lords. Howling Banshees. They even have the what are they? Death Specters, I believe, is what they're called. They're one of the Forge World units that came out, and that was fun. So they have like almost like las cannons, but not. And it's like they're a fast-moving heavy unit, but you fight those. I fought Howling Banshees, Warp Spiders, lots of cool stuff. It's a lot of fun. Like the swords, you can either do a swing, like a full sliding swing. The shields are cool because you can actually use them and push stuff back, or that you can slam it down, putting in a blast, knocking stuff down. Great for if you're surrounded. Always very good if you're surrounded. Which can happen quite often in this game because they like to come at you in waves sometimes. Right? The story itself, like I said, not super unique, but there's actually one part to it that I really kind of hope that gets fleshed out in a greater 40K, because it's one of those storylines where you're like, wow, if this was put into a codex or a book or what have you, it would be game changing for real. It would be, it would be massively game changing. Just putting the finishing touches. So there we go. We got a few more. Got a few more of the silvery bits done. Just have the helmet to do another one of these wrist mounted things, and the staff here, I'm not sure what to do with it. I'm doing everything else in silver, but because it's like the central focus point of his power, I guess I may actually go for tin bits on that to make it look a bit different. Like it's something a bit more unique and special than just the rest of the gubbins on them here, because they're cool, but I want the weapon to stand out a bit and maybe sort of break up all the green and silver, even if I muddy the silver down, which I tend to do. So these don't work, so it's not going to be pristine. All right? I mean, God, the stuff wouldn't be pristine on a Space Marine, let alone an orc. All right? So how has your week been, guys? We're Saturday. Hopefully everyone had a nice restful day and everyone was able to partake in some hobby time, some hobby therapy if necessary. It's always important to keep ourselves happy with all the other stuff we have going on in life. Hopefully the same thing happened with you guys. Just going to get this last wrist piece done up here. And then, and of course the helmet. I got to get the helmet done because it's made all nice metal there. In fact, the helmet itself might get the tin bits, or where did that go? Is that it? No, that is my Agrix Earthshade. Mr. Tinbits. There's my Retributor armor. That's not it. That's not it. That's not it. There it is. My old school Tinbits from way back in the day. We'll use that next. Put that aside because I need to use that. Let's see. Lazy day with a kid all day waiting for wife to get home. Possibly play board games. Yeah. My Saturday, my daughter was at a dance competition all day yesterday. Today was more dance, more practice for the kiddos. That was my day. I had to go out and get groceries done, same old. Getting stuff prepped for, springtime. Now the weather's finally changing. We went through a really wet week this week. Insanely wet. Lots of rain, lots of flooding all over the place. Luckily, we're near where I am right now. Other places, lots of flooding. It's actually one town about 20-minute drive from here. Just the way they're situated, one of their main roads in was flooded. So that wasn't too cool. But yeah, it was my day. Now I get to relax, talk with you fine people, and get some painting done. Let's get this guy. I want to get this guy done. But yeah, we can move on other stuff, and I can say, look, I got this awesome orc model done. I can showcase it. But yeah. No, it's good that you had a bit of a lazy day. Lazy days are always good to have. Always just take a wee break from the general, God, what's the word I want to use? Insanity of life sometimes. It's always on the go, get this done, get that done. Nice to just be able to relax and sit and take a breather for a minute, sit down with the kids, play with them. That's always fun too. But we're just gonna get this guy done. So what do you guys think? I mean, like I was saying before there, we're getting close to 10th edition here. All right. G, what's up? Hello, G, my man. Great to have you here. Thank you very much for showing up and being here. Just asking, how did everyone's weekend go so far? I know it's Saturday night, Sunday morning, depending on where you are. Just want to see everybody's weekends going. Also, just looking at some of the cool 10th edition stuff. Today they dropped, was it yesterday? They dropped Necron stuff. and that's always cool. I know a number of people who love to play Necrons. All right, a bit spicy. Yeah, how are you feeling, man? You did a nice little challenge there. Hopefully, you didn't come back to literally bite you in the ass. Fine now. Well, good. I'm glad you're fine. That's good. I was just looking at the Necron stuff. 10th is going to be 5. Yes, I think I mentioned that in your stream last night with Mythos Freak, Oni, yourself there. Yeah, like your poor buttholes. I mean, I'm sorry, but yeah, it's gonna that. Yeah, I could just see some bunch of you spending some time in the bathroom listening to Everybody Hurts. Be like, oh God, no, grabbing on for dear life and just give her. Yeah. Oh, and here I'm still working on the orc. I don't know if you can see that very well, but I'm working on way on this orc. We're just still getting the base silver down. Debating whether I should put some tin bits on the staff and the helmet to sort of break up the silver a bit and make them look a little bit more unique, because they are I would say, the central focal point of his power, right? Absorbing all the wall energy and then releasing it in one way, shape, or another. Those weird boys tend to do. And I'm running out of silver here. I better some more out there. Where did I put that? There it is. Well, thank you very much, sir. You're a sexy beast too. Yeah, no, but I'm just looking at all the 10th edition stuff, and I've been silently laughing at myself. All these, and they're obviously free to do. All these channels making these bold predictions and going, "Oh, this is going to be this way, and this is going to be this way." There's I mean, there is some stuff that we can draw from, we interpret from what we're seeing, but until we get the full picture, I mean, I don't know what exactly what 10th edition is going to be like. Even yeah, all channels need to do it because exactly. I mean, it's cool stuff like the reanimation protocols. I was looking at that. Right, if your army faction is Necrons at the end of your command phase, each unit from your army with this ability activates its reanimation protocols and reanimates D3 wounds. Okay, that makes sense. Each time such unit reanimates a wound, then there's things, right? Extrapolate, interpret, exactly. I can talk right now. If a unit contains one or more models with fewer than their starting number of wounds remaining, select one of these models. That model regains one lost wound. Okay. Right. If all models use their starting number of wounds, but the unit is not at starting strength, one destroyed model is returned to unit with one wound remaining. Okay. Once such unit is starting strength, all of its models are starting their wounds, nothing further happens. Okay, so it's just a long-winded lawyer way of saying that if you get D3 wounds back, and you just basically hand those wounds to either every model has their starting wounds back or they are brought back. So if it's a unit of, I think it's, what is it? Necron Warriors that only have one wound, and say you lost 2 and you roll that dice, you get 3, boom, boom, you'd get 2 back, and that third wound would be lost. If you had, oh God, I'm not sure. I don't really have other things, but say something obviously with, so you had 3 models, each had 3 wounds, and one model had been destroyed and the other one had lost 2 wounds. I'm assuming you would put 2 wounds on the first one to get it back up, and then maybe reanimate the other one with 1 wound remaining. Right? Again, without the full listing of all the rules, it's hard to say, right? Unlike the faction is reanimation protocols, and we've seen the faction that they've put for Space Marines so far is just Oath of the Moment. Obviously, from what I remember reading and some of the other stuff, is that we're going to see different abilities, right? So reanimation protocols may be what this uses right now. But I think something, was it something about detachments also can determine the faction ability? I don't remember. The numbers legion, each time student reanimation protocols activated reanimates D6 wounds instead of D3 wounds. See, that's cool. Necron Warrior, so you can bring back a lot more Necron Warriors, which I mean, you can interpret, you can extrapolate the interpretation of intent on that, being that you're going to have to put substantial firepower to wiping out a unit, right? You can just wipe them out entirely, and that way they can't come back, right? And then they got weapon stuff like the Doomsday Cannon is strength 15, AP -4. Ouch! Like that's just nasty. And they show the Void Dragons. Anti-vehicle 2+. What does that do? Don't know if they show the anti-vehicle, but basically I'm assuming that whatever that does, it's really good at being nasty against vehicles. Yeah, so Spear the Void Dragon, strike. Anti-vehicle 2+. It's melee, 5 attacks, 2+, weapon strength, strength 12, AP -3, D6 +2. So that's made for just smashing a vehicle. Then you have the sweep. It's 10 attacks. It's hitting weapon skill 3. So I guess you're hitting not as well, but still 3+. It's strength 8, AP -1, 2 damage. Before selecting targets. See, that's the thing. The CS1 says before selecting targets of weapons, select one of its profiles to make an attack with. So it has that, which means you're either making 5 attacks for 10, but I did not see that on Guilliman's, which means he could have a total of 21 attacks with both weapons. Oh, that's nasty. Now, again, I say that. Let's see. Necrons are wild playing models that sling mortal wounds on charge. Yeah, exactly. It's pretty nasty. If I go back up here, yeah, they're God's Flare, lethal hits, rapid fire 1. Oof. Yeah, again, hitting on a 4+. See, I know some people complained about that and having a 4+ save and being, but again, the Necron Warriors are the original undead of 40k, right? The warriors themselves are just supposed to be mindless automatons, right? They're not as good at fighting. They're not as tough. Their armor isn't as good as, say, a Space Marine. They're not supposed to be. They're supposed to be tons of them. That's why they have their number is Legion. I don't know. People like to complain. Oh, and some of the new artwork is amazing. I have a feeling that when 10th comes up, I'm just looking here. So we got Space Marines, Tyranids, Chaos Space Marines, Necrons, and Astral Militarum is up next. So that's going to be a hobbyist. And hello, sir. Good evening. Thank you for jumping in here. Astral Militarum. That's going to be cool to see. I mean, well, their last book was pretty cool. They had a lot of really nasty, but really cool stuff in there. Which is nice. Hopefully, 10th edition will allow them to keep some of that momentum. We'll see what happens in the long run. I think they should have some nice little tricks there. But we will see what happens. Hopefully, we'll see some cool stuff. Oh, this model. I need to build a military. I would love to build a military army. I just don't have the time to paint that many models. I was looking at some videos of people building like full on just infantry guard armies. It's a lot of guard. That is a ton of guard to be putting out there. That's just so much guard. I really don't have time for that. Where there? That's where I put it. Yeah. So how's your weekend been there, Mr. Hobbyist Den? Oh man. Oh no. No, don't tell me. Oh, I'm almost out of tin bits. God, it ever happened to you where you get an army, you get your paints going and realize one's out and you're like, how did that happen? I don't use it that often. I cheat and speed paint them all. Trying to work. Yeah, I know, man. That's like I was saying earlier, I'm on vacation this week. So starting Monday, I get to sleep in a bit. I don't have to worry about going to work. Get a nice full week off. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be nice to just do nothing. I mean, obviously there's stuff to do at home with the kids, but I don't have to worry about any of the other stuff, which is going to be a nice change in the long run for me because I have done a lot of work over the last little while. Work has been nuts busy. So the fact that I can get some time off, maybe I should get some hobbying done. won't be coming home exhausted from work every day. So right now I'm just getting this cool helmet. Almost looks like, it's funny because it almost looks like a steam vent for him, like an exhaust vent. Maybe after he uses his powers, lets him dump out the excess. Who knows? No, I'm excited for 10th. I think 10th is going to be the nice sort of reset we need to make things work a bit better. It does feel a lot like Age of Sigmar. That's when the comments been going around, and there's not really anything wrong with that. Age of Sigmar has definitely had its ups and downs, but I think rules wise, it's far more simplistic. Not easy by any stretch, but far more simplistic. Bossman, how many for aviation take 5 weeks, a one off, and I'm told they can't do it. Yeah, I've had that a few times. It's not fun. Yeah. Now the problem is he's probably been hounded because you haven't taken vacation. Companies don't like you to carry vacation, because then it gets to the point where you have to take all of it off at once, and they don't want you to do that for some strange reason. It means actually, your managers might actually have to do their job. And I'm lucky. I have good managers. I have excellent managers. So it's been almost 3 years. They don't want to pay it. Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. It gets so big they don't want to have to risk paying you out for this mass amount of money that you're basically owed. Just trying to get this helmet done. There's lots of little gubbins and dangly bits on these things. I don't want to mess up around the skull I already painted up. That would not be fun. Enough about my job. Hey man, that's what this chat's all about. Just having some fun. It's supposed to be a nice, relaxing time. We get to just talk about the hobby we love and other not so fun stuff. What am I painting? I am painting up this weird boy that was a gift sent to me by the one and only legendary Mythos of Frost and Fist. At the time I finally got it painted up, I was going to try and do it for the G's Hyper Sapien there, our good friend's painting, but that didn't happen. And that's okay. It was for a painting contest for last month. Didn't happen. That's okay. We're still going to work on it right now. Still trying to get it done. Just because I want to have it done. For no other reason. Why'd you climb that high mountain? Because it was there. Why'd you get the orc painted? Because it was there. Right? Ooh, nice. Thank you. It is a fantastic model. I need to get more of these. This is the what is this set again? Who makes this again? My brain no worky right now. So now I have to look it up because yeah, I think it's the Gear Guts mech. That's right. I saw it just as you said. It's just still great to see you do it. Just the way to encourage us. Exactly. That's what it is. The Gear Guts. It is. What is it? It is. It is. I think it's under the Bruisers line. Under Boss Bruises. Where is it? It's the Odd Bosses, I think. I might be wrong. That was one of the Odd Bosses. I'm actually looking at it. Yeah, it's Odd Bruiser B. I was, well, first off, I was shocked to get it. It was a wonderful little surprise. And wow, it went together wonderfully. And it's been an absolute joy to paint. So many great little details at the same time. The areas are smooth, easy to get to, easy to paint. This is a great little model. I really like it. And yet there's still lots of great little details here and there to go over, lots of little bumps and dips and stuff like that. Places I can put a little bit of paint here and there. Actually, I'm going to give some of these little knobbies here a bit of tin bits again to just sort of shake up the silver a bit when I go over it later on. So now basically everything's gotten a coat. The skin's fully done, the face, the eyes is all done. The silver has just gotten a little bit, has gotten the first layer. And now I'm working on the helmet. Well, let me see. Let me actually see it there. And now I have to do his staff there. That's going to be done in tin bits as well. Yeah. Yeah, Gear Guts is a great little third party, really good stuff. I've been looking at their stuff. Again, it's all based around everyone's favorite greenskins, the orcs, but nothing wrong with that. I actually almost had an orc army at one point, but due to life changes at the point, I got rid of it. Actually, I got rid of it because I lost my job at Games Workshop back in 2009. So I was thought, well, until I got another job, I should get rid of extra stuff to make a little bit of money. And that's what I did. I haven't really regretted it, but at the same time, I wish I kind of kept it because it was a cool army. And I painted it up in 3 hours. It was for a painting challenge we did between the two stores we had. We had one in the west end of Ottawa and one east end of Ottawa, far east. And they came to our store because we had more room, sort of. It was weird. And we, I think it was a benefit of seniority because the manager we had in that store had been there with the company for like 13 years at that point. So, yeah, he said, come here. And everybody got a getting started set. They were like the old school box set. So I think mine had, what was it? It had a buggy in it. What else? It had a whole bunch of boys. I think it had a war loss. I can't remember. It was a long time ago, but yeah, painted the whole thing up in like 3 hours. Of course, it was a lot more dry brush special than his because 3 hours to get a whole bunch of models done it took a while. But yeah, it was fun, but I had to get rid of it. It's cool to have some orcs then again. So we're gonna get this staff done up, and then I think, I don't know. I'll ask you guys, some of the orc players here, what's a nice way to what's a nice easy way to dirty up metal? I was thinking I can find it either. That's not what I want. Where'd it go? It's either going to Agrex Earthshade, maybe some Seraphim Sepia. I don't know. What do you guys think? I'll let the orc experts give me a once over on what I should how to really mess up some metal there, make it look dirty and used, and not just oily, but just oily something the Adeptus Mechanicus likes. All the oils, the sacred oils they put on everything, makes everything sort of greasy. Agrex would be more dirty. Okay, that's what I was thinking. That's what I was thinking too, but you never know, right? It's always good to ask people who paint a lot more work than you do. I just use light brown wash of some sort or black wash. Yeah, don't have any brown wash. I do have some Nolan oil, but I find that sepia will be more yellow and a bit more clean. Yeah. No, good points. Thanks, guys. I don't want it to be clean looking, and I use Nolan oil for my Space Marine metals because I want, again, to look. I want to look a bit more, not dirty, but like oily, right? Because they use the sacred oils on it, so that builds up after a while. Even when they keep the machines clean, they're not really gonna get rid of those sacred oils all that much because they want their machine spirits to activate and function on the battlefield, right? There's that whole mysticism that the Imperium has when it comes to technology. Likely smashed. Yeah. So I'm just gonna get this done up. Some orky goodness here. Mini Warmutt, how's it going, my friend? Welcome to the party. Just having a nice, relaxing Saturday live stream. Just trying to get this orc relatively done. I want them to look good and I want them to kind of pop. Yeah, I'm really happy with this model. And how has your weekend been so far? I've had lots of people working or having a lazy Saturday. Thoughts on Kill Team? I have not played the new Kill Team yet. I've seen it played, but I've not played it myself. It looks cool. I like all the unique sets they've brought out. The Space Marines obviously haven't got too many unique sets because, well, that's sort of thing with Space Marines there, right? But it looks like fun. I remember playing the old school Kill Team, like when it first came out in the White Dwarf. Now that was a cool game. I have the Into the Dark delivery yesterday. Yeah, no, I think Into the Dark. Which one's that? Is that see, I can't remember which one Into the Dark is. Which one is that? Is that the one with the Drakari and the Arbites? Jeez, I hate that name. It was hilarious. My wife was reading an email because she gets the emails too, so she can send stuff to me if I haven't seen it yet. They're talking about how they've got the Arbites Extraction Squad up for pre-order now, and she's like, "How do you say it?" I'm like, "I don't want to tell you." Said, why not? Because it sounds freaking hilarious. They're Arbites, and she said, "Really?" I'm like, "Yeah, they're there's arbiters, which is a thing, and right, Arbites makes sense, but no, they're Arbites." One ore bottle rust effects from the Dirty Down guys. Hello, GWC Ashley, how's it going? All right, so we're gonna let that. Oh crap! Crepity crep. I missed a spot. Where is my lead belcher? Kroot versus Kroot versus Navy Breachers. Cool. All right, my bad. I was thinking about the wrong one there. That one's pretty cool. Breachers versus Kroot. I'm sorry. I looked at that set and Kroot, cool in a dark corridors where they can hide, pretty cool. But against Navy Breachers, they don't have a chance. I mean, Kroot might be a bit more physically able, but I'm sorry, like the breaching shotguns I've got, it's the Kroot don't stand much of a chance. Hello, Gamers with Coffee. Evening, sir. How are you tonight? Yeah, we're just working on an orc here and having a chat. I love Kroot. Hey, man, Kroot are cool. I always, at one point, I've been tempted to get that Kroot list just because at one point, well, I'm not a big fan of Tau per se. I was a big fan of Kroot. I always thought they were a unique little fun part of 40K. Here's a species that's avian in nature, and instead of humanoid. Always thought it was cool, and I was always a big fan of the Kroot mercenary list from way back. Careful those coffee drinkers in the chat. Oh, are they up to no good? What do we do with those coffee drinkers? Are they gonna say bad words? Say bad words. I might have to chastise them greatly. No, it's okay. Yeah, I was a big fan of the Kroot mercenary list because it was a list that was just derived around the Kroot. You had a master shaper who and they could have gear. They had bolt guns, power swords, plasma pistols. They had Eldari weaponry. Of course, they're mercenaries, so they take payment from other species. You had the master shaper who, again, this is 3rd edition, so he's the only one in the army who had any sort of invulnerable save. Mark of the Favored Child, it was called. And they're good as long as they're on decaf. He was, this master shaper. If you don't know what I mean with master shapers, Kroot society is based on eating stuff and gaining evolutionary traits from what they eat. Right? That's why the Kroot have these secret mercenary lists. They like being allies to the Tau. They have all this cool tech behind them, defend their planets, defend their ships. But if they did what the Tau wanted and stopped following this cultural norm of eating stuff, they would stagnate and die. So they send out the recruit spheres out into space to be a mercenary secretly for other species. including chaos. Not so much chaos, but a little bit of chaos in there. The Imperial Guard, Eldari, stuff like that. I'm sure at some point you may see them being allied with the leagues, right? It was cool. So you had the Shaper, the Master Shaper at the beginning, and you had the Shaper's Council, which is essentially another HQ choice, but made up of the smaller. Right? I wish they expand on the Kroot. What if Kroot eat Nids with their endless hunger? Bad words. Yes. Okay. Lots to go in there. Yes, they did expand on Kroot in that list. I'll get to that. Yeah, they're bringing back Beastmen. So Beastmen sort of already made a mini comeback in the Blackstone Fortress box. So there were a few of them in there, and there was a Beastman hired gun in Necromunda still there. Yeah, Gallowfall. That's where they're coming in. Gallowfall, right? They're fighting up against leagues of Votan. So they've kind of never fully disappeared, but yeah, way back in the day, like second edition and all that for Rogue Trader second edition, they were kind of there. You could get Beastmen, mostly for chaos, but there were Beastmen guard regiments, and of course, as the game became a bit more centered down, the fluff lines they wanted, they disappeared, or they became full on just chaos, right? And that's what they are in Gallowfall. They're chaos worshippers, nothing more than that. But again, they were considered at one point an abhuman that was tolerated at the very end of tolerance when it came to abhumanism, and eventually they were told no, like these things are horrible, they're mutations, they are obviously following chaos, wipe them out. And that's kind of what's happened to them. Obviously, that sort of intolerance then drives them further into the hands of chaos, right? So that's pretty nasty stuff. But yeah, so they did expand on the Kroot in that list. There was, so like I said, there was a Master Shaper at the top, and the Master Shaper at the top, the Shaper Council underneath, which was another HQ choice. It's almost like Warlocks for the Eldari, just a weaker grouping of HQ choices. Their elites were Headhunter Kindred, which could spit acid. They actually had like a ranged acid attack, I think. You had your standard Kindred, as they were called. Actually, I'm just gonna look this up here. Let me see if I can find it here. Yeah, okay, I found it right here. So yeah, you have the top of the list. You had your Master Shaper, right? You have the Shaper Council, which were their own little thing there, right? So your Master Shaper was your main headquarters, and he could have Kroot hounds. Blah, 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 blah. You had your Shaper Council. You could only have one of those, 0 to 1 of those. They're a bit smaller. You had your Headhunter Kindred, which again were elites, when they had a Shaper with them. Every unit had a Shaper, basically. They had a Kroot rifle. So, okay, they had an evolutionary adaptation. Having fed the most poisonous of creatures, the entire kindred may either choose attack with their basic strength, which is 4, or a special poison attack. They could mix it. If they choose with a poison attack, they make a single attack, even if they assaulted, wounds on a 4+. Yeah, so they could. I think the pre-order sold out. It did. It sold out really quick. You had your Stalker Kindred, which are elite, and they were. They had the jungle fighting rules from the Codex Catachan back in the day. So basically, they could sneak attack through forests. You had the Kroot Convor Kindred, which was your basic troops. You had Vulture Kindred, which were fast attack, and they had. Just gonna see here. They had small but functional wings, allow them to glide short distance. So they had jump packs, so they could deep strike, or they if you wanted to, they could deep strike. You had a Kroot Hound pack, which is just 10 to 20 Kroot and 5 to 20 Kroot hounds. Of course, one could be upgraded to a shaper, right? You had tracker kindred, which were 5 to 10 Kroot trackers, and they were cavalry. So the Kroot trackers were actually on the smaller versions of Krootox. They weren't like the big ones; they're the smaller ones, right? So you had cavalry; they could infiltrate back in the day. Your heavy support was Hunter Kindred when they had the Kroot hunting rifle, and they had. Look here, yeah, they were Kroot hunting rifle, which was different than your Kroot. Just gonna see here. It's been a while since I looked at that. Yeah, so you had your Kroot rifle, which if I can find it here, Kroot rifle was 24-inch, strength 4, AP 6, rapid fire. The Kroot hunting rifle was a sniper rifle. So basically, that unit had sniper rifles. And let's see here. I guess actually I can hear my kids. I'll be back in like 1 minute. Just give me 1 second. Sorry, I gotta do something here. Just give me 1 second. Sorry, guys, and I'm back. All right, where was I? Yes. So yes, Hunter Kindred were basically Kroot with sniper rifles. So it gave you some long-range fire support. You had your Krootox squad. So you'd have 10 to 20 Kroot and 3 to 5 Krootox. Those are the big guys with the Kroot gun, the big thing. You could have punji traps. That was a big thing in 3rd edition. You could put traps down, little markers, and if someone fell into it, you took strength 4 hits. They ignored cover. The other cool thing about it, if I can find it here, was you could have, where was it? Kroot hounds, where is it? Oh yeah, you had signature evolutionary adaptations. Now what was cool about this is depending on what you decided your mercenaries had been hunting, you could get these adaptations, right? So there was the bold, by concentrating on hunting prey, known for its courageousness. The squad add +1 its leadership characteristics, but it costs you an extra point. You had chameleon. They had a 6+ cover save in the open. Fast reflexes. They had +1 initiative. Nocturnal. They had that was for night fighting. You actually had to roll to see how far you could see at night fighting, which I always found funny, especially playing Space Marines with all the gear they had in their helmets. You had Orc Hybrid, which is, I think, one most people took. Excuse me. They could refer to as Green Kroot. The model increases their toughness by 1. Strength 8 is needed instant kill models of adaptation. Back in 3rd edition, if you were if your strength was double the toughness, you insta killed. Didn't matter how many wounds. So if you fired a last cannon at a Space Marine cap, it didn't matter if you failed an invulnerable save. Didn't matter if you had 100 million wounds. He was dead. So that was a big one took because it made them strength 4, toughness 4, which is big. And you had 6 cents. That one was the target by template blast or ordnance blast weapons. Models in their template counts being partially covered. They're only hit on a D6 roll of 4+, including flamer hits, which do not usually allow partial hits, which is a big thing. Blast templates back in the day. So if you had a model that was completely under their hit, if they were partially under, it could, it was a 50-50 chance. This way it was always a 50-50 chance. So yeah, so that was, so they did have a nice thing for Kroot back in the day. And that was a long way of saying I like the Kroot. But yeah, back to painting this bundle of joy here. And sorry about the guys. One of my little ones was up and could hear my name faintly in the background there. Don't want to leave those kids, wondering where Dad is. Always good. Oh, and I missed some chain there. That's not good. What are you doing, Steve? You're slipping up here. So one of the big things he talked about on the releases is a new season of Kill Team, a new way to play. So I don't know what that means. It just seems like there was a lot more there. We got the sneak peek at that new set, but it's the Inquisition, which is cool. I mean, I'm going to take a little bit of credit for that because I've been mentioning the Inquisition needs a fix, and all of a sudden Games Workshop does it. Coincidence? I don't think so. They're listening. Of course they're listening to me. Of course they are. But seeing Sisters of Silence in there, and some of the Militarum Tempestus painted up as Inquisitorial Stormtroopers was cool to see. So it was, but against all that chaos stuff. So I don't know how they're changing kill teams. It seems like it's not as big as a combat patrol, but still pretty. It seems bigger than a kill team. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. And it seems like they were all moving as squads again, which is a bit weird. Although maybe they're going to something like the old version of Kill Team, which was a bit different was now. It was more along the lines of like a Saving Private Ryan or Black Hawk Down. That's actually the examples they used in the White Dwarf articles, where you had a unit, an elite unit of whatever army, so Space Marines. You had, and it can be made up of pretty much any model in the army. No big vehicles and no big characters with multiple wounds, but you have a nice mixture of a bunch of different stuff in there. And you're fighting, you were trying to sneak your way through depending on the mission, and you were fighting grunts, basically small units here and there of the enemy, and there would be like the grunt leader would be your big challenge to fight at the end, right? Or whatever, if you were trying to sabotage something or blow something up, he was a guy who you'd have to watch out for. He'd be the big powerful guy. Maybe they're getting back to that. And then again, it eventually changed even before this edition, or this latest Kill Team stuff, to be more about, operatives, fighting operatives. I mean, again, there's nothing wrong with that. I haven't really played it that much, but I just personally like the old style a bit better. It seemed a bit more, I don't know, a bit more fun as a full sort of elite unit against the grunts sort of thing. Again, that's just me. But I don't know. Maybe they're going back to that. Just see not many models though in a set for Kill Team. There's a lot there, which seems like they're going a different route this time through. Again, that's just my 2 cents on it. I know. What do you guys think? Am I off, or am I off my rocker? I mean, I know I'm off my rocker. I think it's been determined long ago. But hey. I'm just finishing up what I missed there. I want to get this metal done up so I can move on. I haven't a clue. I've never played it yet. Well, I've played the original version way back in the day, like 2006, 2007, something like that, somewhere in there. God, yeah, 2005, somewhere in there, way back in the day. I haven't played the new Kill Team yet, but yeah, definitely everybody can kind of move where they need to go, and so it's a bit different. All right, now I need some more. I have it in black. Do some touch-ups here where I got silver and brass where it should may have been. Touch up there, a little touch up there, a touch up there, and a touch up there. I like it a lot. All right, and what was I using? Yes, no. No. Where did it go? Where? Not that one. Where'd it go? McCraig Blue, Crimson Gray. Where did it go? Where did my... There it is, the Fang. That's what I mean. But again, how are you guys doing? I've been doing a lot of blabbing. I want to hear you guys. What have you been up to? What's your thoughts on all the big news that came out of the Warhammer Fest? And here's an interesting question for you. I didn't take it as at face value. First off, because a lot of channels that I don't follow, but you see them in your feed from time to time. The ones that are atypically anti-Games Workshop were saying that Warhammer Fest was a disaster, which I'm surprised about a bit. But then other channels that are, I won't say pro Games Workshop, but definitely a bit more, balanced on, all of a sudden say it was a mess. So I don't know what to make of that. Hopefully it wasn't. Well, I'm glad you're doing okay, my friend. I'm glad you're doing okay. That's good. Second work thing. Anti-Games Workshop, we can stop talking. Yeah, exactly. Well, that's how you get. We talked about the last time. So you get your likes, right? Be negative. All this news is nice, but there's some bits of concern. Yeah, I heard there was like long lineups and it was like stuff was stuck in one area and then you couldn't get to what you wanted to do, and I don't know. One of the main concerns, and I gotta tell you that it brought back some memories from, I think it was the very last Games Day Canada had, because it was an absolute disaster. But yeah, I mentioned that I was watching, who was it? One of them, and I said every Comic-Con I've been to, and I haven't been to a ton, but I've been to lots of them, and just people selling stuff and lines to stuff that really maybe wasn't worth waiting in line for. Lines to get, yeah, maybe not. But from what I heard, there was a lot of onus was put on other people. Like Games Workshop wanted it to be. It felt like what people were saying, Games Workshop wanted it to be a success, but didn't want to put in the work to make it a success. Maybe I'm saying it the wrong way. I don't know. But I've seen lots of Comic-Cons do the same thing, where it's they want everybody, all the people, going there to sell stuff, to put in the hard work to build it. That aligns age. Yeah, man, I wish I could have met Stan Lee. Lucky, I am jealous of you, sir. That would be one of my. I always wanted to meet Stan Lee, being the massive comic book fan that I am, and being the massive Marvel fan that I am. I always wanted to meet him. I thought that would have been so cool. He would seem like a genuinely good guy, and really wanted people to enjoy what he's putting out. I'm not sure if he'd like the way stuff's going right now in the comic books. That's not even a discussion I don't want to get into right now. The way the comic books are going, yeesh. But yeah, I'm a huge comic book fan too. If you guys didn't know, even longer than I've been a Warhammer 40,000 or Games Workshop. Well, Warhammer 40,000 fan. Comic books were one of the first things I got to. I'll be in the chat working in the last section building my train tables. Hey man, do what you got to do. Hey, if you just want to have this on the background, listen to the dulcet sounds of my voice. Oh yes, Mother always said I had a face for radio. But yeah, no, I don't know. But as I say, what do you guys think of all the cool stuff that was shown off at Warhammer Fest? Whether it's 40K, Horus Heresy, there's a whole bunch of the Age of Sigmar and Old World stuff. What do you guys think? What's something that you're really looking forward to? I think it doesn't have to be the standard stuff. You can do whatever you want. All right. Agrax Earthshade for the dirty. Make it all dirty. It's gonna get dirty in here. Orcs next year. Yeah, orcs are coming. That'll be cool. Green skins everywhere. We'll see what Mog Winter. Yeah. That's for Age of Sigmar. That's the new orc line that they went with the skinny, cunning orcs. And I think they're going to go for the thick, brutal orcs now. Back to those guys again. Having those guys lay the smack on the heroes of the Age of Sigmar. I think that'll be cool to see them. Been waiting for the big, beefy orcs again. We got to see them a little bit there when Age of Sigmar first hit, but then they get all these scrawny, almost half orc, half goblinoid thingies that weren't your typical orc. But yeah, Iron Jaws. Yeah, that'll be cool to see Iron Jaws again. Oh, no time to cover all this. It's too much on the brush here. All this stuff. Make it look a little bit dirty. That'll be. Make it look nasty here. Yeah, they're more hobgoblins. Yeah, the cruel boys. That's it. Yeah, they're. I mean, they looked cool. Don't get me wrong. They looked cool. They looked evil and nasty, and definitely not something you want to fight against. But yeah, they're even the name Cruel Boys. It doesn't sound like they're they're a bit more tricky and nasty and not the typical orc you'd expect to be fighting, right? They're but yeah, hopefully the Iron Jaws will bring back that glorious orkiness of just smashing stuff with choppas. Right? I mean, I also like this what we saw there about the free cities. I like the model upgrades they got. They should just made them. Yeah, swamp lords but orcs. Yeah, I think that's something. But again, I think they also wanted to offer some choice when it came to what type of orcs and goblins you were bashing people over the head with. There's obviously a few more options now in the Age of Sigmar stuff than beforehand. So many bits to cover. Right? Hey, what's up? Hey, hello, Glamour Smashface. How are you today? Or tonight, I should say. Welcome to the chat. We're having some fun painting an orc here. And normally, we're getting the end, but I am on vacation now, so I'm going to keep this going for a little bit longer. Plus, I did say in one of the message chats that it was going to get a bit blue later, so I may have to follow up with that and give you guys a little something. You know what I mean? I don't want to, but I gotta get you guys interacted somehow. Now, how are you today? We are just chatting about right now as I paint up this orc. What we're about Roxy? Why you know Roxy? Yeah, Roxy. Why you know Roxy? But just talking about what we liked about all the Warhammer Fest stuff. What was our favorite thing? Obviously, for me, it was all the new Space Marine stuff because anybody knows me, I'm a Astartes at heart. Always have been, always will be. Right? Rebrand. There we go. A rebrand. Always good to rebrand. Keep people guessing. Oh, it looks so much better now, even with just that. Oh, it's awesome. Where was I? There I go. But rebrand is okay. Always good to rebrand. Always good. But yeah, we're talking about what you guys liked from the Warhammer Fest, all the reveals. I also like the Bretonian Tomb King stuff for the old world. It's cool to see Bretonians getting some love after having been neglected for pretty much every edition ever. They really did not get the love they deserved back when fantasy was around. I had two names on different stuff, so I consolidate everything. Hey, that's cool. I like that. Good for you. If it makes it easier for you to get out there and spread your brand of hobby love and all that, cool, man. Go for it. Nice. Nice. That looks nice. It's toy. Toy. I'm not spreading nothing. I meant that in a just a nice way, not anything. At least for the time being. Oh. All right. What do? I need to do something with this brass before I hit it with the Agrikes, and I think that is going to be a little bit of silver dry brushing on it first to get a bit of a different color on there, because I need edges to still pop and not for it to be too dark, and it's going to get too dark if I do it this way. So we're going to use chainmail. Some chainmail here to make things, to dry brush it a bit just on these gribbly parts here, because I need to pop slightly. All right, so I'm just going to quick once over. Oh, that looks good even without it, but it'll look even better with it. Now it looks even more torn up and beaten up. Oh, I'm so good at this. I mean, no, I am good at this. All right, and then we're just going to get this done up here. Get some dry brushing done on here. I just need a little bit more. Where did I put it? There it is. Yeah, seeing how orcs and us are changing more or less cartoony, pond of orcs fire going the same way. Oh, that's a good question. I think we can look at the beast snagga stuff that came out. It was, I shrink this down here. Let's take a look at go back up the top of the page. Look at, where am I going here? I think we're gonna kind of look at beast snaggas for that. They were kind of not like the 40k beast snagga stuff. If we can get to it, that'd be good. Oscar. I mean, it was still relatively cartoony, but I don't know. I always found it to be the orcs. I think were at their best, especially in 40k being a bit more cartoony. It made them funnier and pop a bit more. I don't know. That's just me though. I think they're at their best when they're a bit cartoony in what they're doing. Right? I mean, when you have stories of orc war bosses getting swallowed up, or Wog getting swallowed up by void whales, or getting trapped in a time loop where they end up fighting themselves, so the orc war boss can get two of his favorite weapon, or being stuck on a demon world they're constantly fighting forever, which is orc heaven, right? There's so many funny little orc stories where other armies have these serious things like, oh my god, we lost 80 planets today in a massive tyranid devouring, and oh my god, everything's ending. Orcs are like, yeah, I fought myself today, and I got an extra version of my favorite weapon. I love it. I can't wait to do it again tomorrow. Yeah, I like their kind of gives them life. Yeah, even back in the fantasy days, fantasy orcs were a lot more serious than 40k orcs, right? They were. I mean, you had they were just always a bit more serious. I mean, they still had their funny moments, but that usually came in the form of their grots or their Gretchen or whatever. Yeah, grots doing all the funny stuff while the war bosses and all the boys were doing the serious stuff. Right? It was the small guys having all the fun. 40k orcs always seem to be a bit more lighthearted in their humor, right? But we shall see. We'll see what 10th brings. And obviously, uh, we've had some of the stories have kind of halted a bit because of the way the Arcs of Omen stuff happened, and it focusing on Abaddon and him trying to end the long stagnated war he's been in with the Imperium, and he's trying to do his thing. So again, when 40k is about at the end of things, it's usually from about the Imperium, right? Mankind. So the last time we heard about the orcs in 40k, the main. I mean main orcs. I mean like Thraka and all that was like the biggest orc wog in the longest time, heading towards Terra. And then we saw what happened in the Arcs of Omen, where you basically had Farsight going, "Hey, I'm chaos now." Didn't mean to. Orcs basically saving the day, which again is perfect orc humor. Orcs like just blundering in and in their own weird ways suddenly becoming the heroes because they stopped a massive chaos invasion, and they ended up doing what no one else can do and actually destroying these old ancient demon summoning temple thingies that even the chaos demon destroyed, even the Tau couldn't fully destroy. So, but again, that's sort of like a little moment. The big story is currently hurtling towards Terra. So it's the leagues, even the leagues, we don't really know what's going on with them. All of a sudden people are being driven into the galactic core, and the leagues go, whoa, hey, this is our spot. Can you not? Can you? Oh, and now we have to move out. So I don't know. It's all, hopefully 10th will give us a bit more direction on where everything's going. Oh, that looks good. I'm really happy with that. That looks good. Oh, I am so happy. I don't know if you guys can see that properly. Give me a sec here. I'm gonna have some fun here. I don't know if you guys can see that properly, but yeah, he's looking good now. We got I just got the Agrax Earthshade down and everything. I did some dry brushing on the helmet and his doohickey staff here. Oh, that's looking good. I am very happy with that orc. He is coming together very, very well. Oh, I'm super happy. But yeah. Let's see here. Someone said something. If they use horse to bring back Tuska Demon Killer, people lose their minds. Yeah, I gotta say, when the new Orc Codex is coming out, and they said they were gonna upsize, they're gonna upsize Gazgul. I was, thank you. I was a little disappointed. Like I like the fact the story that he got killed by Blackmane of all people, Ragnar of all people, which was kind of weird, but it made sense in a way. The Space Wolves have always had a big battle against the Orcs, but it was cool to see. He gets killed and gets brought back, and he is upsized. His body's a bit bigger, but it's basically the armor that's the big deal with him. He's in this massive chunk of armor. It's huge. I always wanted to see him more of like the Beast, right? And especially if he's supposed to be the prophet, like the prophet of the wall. I wanted to see him just massive. Like I want to see orcs get this beast level threat, right? I mean, everybody's getting something big. Chaos got, an upsized Avid, and the Imperium's got a couple Primarchs now. Chaos got these massive Primarch models, and Orcs have some big vehicles, but everybody's got big vehicles now. But I was hoping for Gazgul going through some massive transformations, coming out as this beast thing, this massive orc, just huge. He's big, but I was expecting bigger. The fact that Beast Blazing Sword is the same size as Gaz, yeah. I mean, it's cool. It's cool that he got bigger. It's cool that he's got some cool rules. I was hoping for more than just a slightly bigger body and just bigger armor. He's really just in bigger armor. He really just got an armor upgrade. I don't know. He's big. He's big and powerful. I was expecting, especially since they did the whole beast thing there. Sort of that post-heresy story. The first major test after the Horus heresy is the Orcs coming out and basically backhanding the Imperium right up to Terra. That's a huge thing. I was kind of hoping that we'd be like, okay, you know what? Especially since he's supposed to be the biggest WOG since that point, I was kind of hoping for a bit more out of someone like Thraka, just right. And now that plus the fact that there's a very, very good chance that Angron of all people is the one who killed Thraka's favorite villain, his favorite adversary. I'd love to see just at some point in 10th this massive battle between Angron and Gazgul. I think it'd be great, just this drag out brawl, the two of them fighting each other out. Because I mean, hell, if someone like a Primarch can take on Angron at his size and beat him, i.e., the Lion, which makes sense. Lion is one of the best close combat fighters of all the Primarchs, right? I'd love to see just full-on red rage versus full-on green rage. Let's see what happens, because win-lose, the Orcs are going to love it anyways. And I think, Gazgul's got a personal stake in beating the living heck out of the guy who killed his favorite Umi. I don't know. That's just me, though. I'd like to see some sort of book. And in that same vein, I desperately hope the Games Workshop keeps to, the lessons they've learned, and we don't get, a book with a whole ton of rules. And I'd love to see some story, a lot of fluff in there, maybe some cool missions, maybe some stuff to expand on this combat patrol, which is apparently going to be very important. I don't know. That's just me. I'd like to see that. New missions, no new units. I hope they stick to that and don't give us any new units or anything that requires us to carry on even more books to play the armies we play. But I don't know. That's just me. I kind of hope. That's just me. That is just me. But I'd love to see a drag-out battle between the two. Big battle. Gazgul is on my buy list. Yeah, I need a big green orc to go against some big blue Smurf for Terra. Hey, don't you talk about our Lord Commander about that. That's another scene I can't wait to see. The Lion meeting up with Gulliman. I think that's going to be a big scene. In fact, he's already met Dante, and Dante's kind of giving him the lay of the land. Like, oh, by the way, Gulliman basically came and saved the day. And the fact that Gulliman really respects the Lion, really thought he was one of the good ones, yeah? I don't know, man. I don't know how to feel about the cards. I mean, I know, like, every game now uses cards, but I don't know. It just seems like it was an extra added thing that was just done to sell stuff. And I get that. It's a company, it wants to make money, but it always seemed a bit iffy to me to be like, oh, here's a bunch of cards, right? Like, I get they've done cards before as promotional stuff, and I have no problem with it. But I don't know, it just seemed like it was extra nonsense just to have something else to sell. On top of the fact we already have to buy all the armies and the books and all the other stuff. I don't know. That's just me. Just being a grumpy old man. So now I'm just basing this guy a bit. I want them to look biffy. Let them off the hook for making the same missions again. It's new on cards. Yeah, I don't know. I was looking at this stuff, all these new missions, the primary or the objectives, primary, secondary objectives, and now this new Gambit objectives, which seem pretty cool. I don't know. I kind of like the fact that you do this big Gambit thing. I think it's third turn onwards. If you can use these Gambit cards or choose to, and you can either pick your primary objective still, or you can abandon that, keeping all the points you've accumulated to that point, but getting rid of it and going for some like super high risk but also super rewarding Gambit objective that gives you just a ton of victory points. That maybe kind of want to build the Gambit list. Yeah, survive, explode. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, I hope. I know they are saying all the data slates, I think probably the basic data slates will be free along with the core rules, which is good. I think that's great. So we can start playing right away because, I don't even want to get started on the shipping issues they've had with, or not shipping, but quantity issues of stuff. Stuff's just selling out like that. There's not enough of it, which is a problem, especially. I hope that with the new rule set, which they have to know is what everyone's going to want, the new box set. Well, not everybody, but they better be making a ton of them. They better be. But no, I like this Gambit thing. If you're really suffering, it might be a great way to get yourself out of the difference between you and your opponent. Maybe even snatch victory from the jaws of defeat and all that good stuff. So there we go, guys. I've just based some mini for the dry, and I'll dry brush it. But I think I'm going to call this guy done. I'll take some pictures. I'll throw it up in all the different places that I'm a member of. Right? And now I think I better. I don't know. Should I? I don't know. I don't want to throw anybody off. It's late at night now. Said it was gonna get a little blue after 11, so maybe I should do this. We'll just talk about stuff. But what's going on here? All right, sorry. No, I won't do it. I don't want to ruin you guys' night. Maybe next time. I'll give you leave them wanting more. I don't know. But yeah. The new cards cancel the quick play once are made. Yeah. I remember when they first started bringing out those cards, I always thought, okay, well, this is cool. Don't know how long it's going to stay around. Well, it's cool. Now it's everywhere. The cards, they're great to have, so you don't have to have the book open all the time for every single rule. But it also bothers me because you need that stuff because they have so many bloody rules. I kind of long for the day when it was just, here's the mission, and you just play it. You need extra cards, you need this or that. It was just literally play the mission, right? And you weren't winning a game 76-52. It was like, yeah, I won by 10 victory points to 5, and I got a solid victory, or a major victory, or major defeat, or minor victory. I don't know. It just seems simpler. Maybe obviously you need to evolve, and sometimes that means making things a bit more complex. But day one, no line kick for me. Yeah, no, I don't know. I don't know. I hope that they've learned from the last few upsets. I know they were looking for someone to do distribution all of a sudden again. I guess the last guy just wasn't, the last guy, girl, whatever, wasn't up to snuff on it. But I kind of hope. Burnt, hi, I'm the dice. This isn't the dice you're looking for. No. Hello, Burnt Dice. How's it going, man? I hope that they do something especially when it hits June, that they do something where maybe it's a longer pre-order period where it's like, it's not just boom and they're gone, but here we're going to give you maybe 2-3 weeks to pre-order before we do an actual, like, give it a lot more time and say, okay, well, it's coming out June, whatever. So here, right at the beginning of June, we'll give you 2 weeks to pre-order. That way we know what we need. And then maybe give it another week and then it comes out. Or am I thinking 7th? Either way, they were simple fun. I think you may be thinking of 7th. 7th is when they started adding in like cards for the, little things here and there to get yourself. Hey, Randy, probably first time to your channel. Well, hey, thank you, Burnt Dice, for coming in, man. I appreciate you checking out the channel. I hope it's to your liking. We're just having fun painting and chatting. Just painting up this cool Odd Bruiser from the Gear Guts line. It was gifted to me by one of the legends. You'll see him here. I haven't seen him in a bit, but Mythos, Wolf Brother Mythos. So we're just waiting for the base to dry up a bit more, and we'll dry brush it, and pretty much calling this one done. Yeah. Well, it is cool. It's a cool one. It's a third-party model. Gear Guts Mech Shop. They make some amazing orc stuff. It was a joy to put together, and it has been amazingly fun to paint. Yeah, it's from Gear Guts Mech Shop. They do a whole bunch of cool stuff. Just all sorts of orky stuff all over the place, and it's lots of fun to peruse. It was a gift sent to me. It's a lot of fun. But yeah, I'm actually very happy with how this model turned out. I think I have, you know what? While I'm waiting for that to dry up, I am going to get myself some more of my chainmail. Yes, I'm using paints that old because I'm that old. And we're gonna dry brush this up a bit more. Now that I've put the stuff on. Did I miss one? I may have missed one. That is unlike me. I should do that first. Yeah, go to if you want, hit up. I'm a huge comic fan. Hey man, I'm a huge comic book fan too, man. I've been a comic book fan since the early '80s, as long as I can remember. Yeah, they make some really cool stuff. It's really good. Yeah, and yeah, if you want to hit some of the guys here, they're affiliates with them. Hit them up. It helps them out, gets them some love, and that's what we're all about in this community, is just helping each other out, having fun, supporting each other in any way we can, and building up this awesome hobby community we have. I can't believe I missed this. I feel like such a butthead. I thought it was so cool. Oh, pride cometh before the fall. No. Just like a statue channel. Well, it's called, Who Took My Dice? It used to be called Miniature War Game. But yeah, it's all about mostly a game of Warhammer 40,000, right? So, like, for instance, here I got this cool Space Marine here, right? One of my favorite models. That's sort of a kit bash one. This guy is third party from Gear Guts. Again, the cool thing about this hobby is you can play the games. You can go in for the competitive side where you're just trying to win as much as possible. You go for the fluffy side where you just want these cool epic games. You don't have to touch a dice at all, open a book. You can just grab a model and paint the hell out of it. And that's what some people do. It's what's beautiful about it. You have some people who haven't the slightest idea. It's a board game. It's not like D&D. D&D is like a role-playing game. This is more of a it's more of an army strategy game. So you're playing, well, battles of various sizes. You have really small ones, really big ones. Yeah, I guess it is sort of a board game. Yeah, it's massive battles with lots of models fighting, huge battles, small ones with epic struggle between these elite fighting teams. But yeah, it's awesome. And or you can literally go in and just paint the models. And that's what some people do. They never crack a rule book. They never roll a single dice. They go in and they just paint very well. There's some people with amazing painting talent, far, far beyond my meager talents. it is kind of like Risk. You a bit more complex because your units actually have their own rules on top of the rules for the game. But yeah, it's a lot of fun, and yeah, no, I'm glad. Hey, if you want to hop in and check out my channel, check out the channels, some of the people you see here. Everybody does it in their own way. That's the other beautiful thing is there's no really wrong way to do this, to enjoy this hobby. You can enjoy it in multiple different aspects depending on what really floats your boat. Right? I like to, not that I have very much recently. I like to play, but I like to paint my models up. I like to try and enjoy all the aspects of the hobby to the best of my ability. Doesn't always work out, but yeah, definitely. But yeah, okay. So I just did some more dry brushing on the metal here to kind of pick out the raised edges, and I don't know if you guys can see that well enough. There you go. He's coming along, right? Yeah. Well, it's had especially recently in lots of games. There was the Dawn of War series. There's been a ton on God, everything from PC, consoles. I was talking earlier about Inquisitor Martyr, which is sort of a Diablo style game, sort of a top down. You control your little character, you gather gear, you level up, all that cool stuff. There was a Space Marine game. Space Marine 2 is coming out, which is like a third person game. Kind of God of War style. But yeah. And if you're a comic book fan, there has been many comic books over the years. Most recently, they had. I'm not sure what the status of this team up is, but they did two 5-issue series with Marvel Comics. The first one was about Marni's Calgar, and the big Ultramarine, Space Marine, one of these guys, one of the big leaders. And the second one was, and it kind of delved into his history while dealing with issues in the present of Warhammer. And the second one was the Sisters of Battle, which are technically just nuns with guns, right? And dealt with them. And there was a connective tissue between them too, where there was these different artifacts of chaos, and chaos is like the big bad in Warhammer 40,000. Even in the fantasy version, chaos is the big bad, right? They're demons and traitors and all the bad stuff. The connective tissue between them, and I guess other series, if they ever end up coming out, was these chaos images at the back of the end of each comic book, or at least the last comic book in each series. There was, I think, 4 or 5 slots, and there was two of them are filled up with artifacts that were found in that storyline. I don't know if we're ever going to see the rest of them or what happened to it. I don't know. The comic book industry isn't having the best time right now. Most of that is their own fault. But yeah, so hopefully we'll see more of them. I hope that, I know there's a lot. I've thrown a lot at you once. I'm sorry, but it's amazingly fun. And the beautiful thing is you can get in at any point you want and do whatever you want. So if you just want to paint the models, go for it, because that's a lot of fun. Having a nice display case of models. They don't have to be from the same army, from the same game. It looks wonderful, and you put your I'll definitely try and find them a look on eBay. Yeah, I think you can also find them on the Games Workshop website, or maybe Black Library, which is the print side of the Games Workshop company. It does all the books, where all the fluff is. It does all the storyline, the storybooks, the novels, novellas, audio books, all that stuff, including the comic books. And there's some old ones I don't think they have, but it was from Boom Studios, which I don't think exists anymore. Did a whole bunch of stuff back in the day for Warhammer Fantasy, Warhammer 40,000. They even had their own comic book that ran for a long time. And this is way back in the early. I'm starting John Byrne Fantastic Four. Yeah, Fantastic Four is awesome. They even had their own comic book called Warhammer Monthly, and it was cool because it would have either standalone stories or you get a series of stories through a bunch of books. There was things like Blood Quest 2. That was, and you pick each. Yeah, that again, that ended a long time ago, but it was really fun. It was good time. It was black and white for the most part too, the whole thing, and there was a whole bunch of cool stories in there. There was even some back in the day, like if you know John Byrne, you know Dan Abnett, a guy who wrote for God, X-Men. I know he did some stuff for DC, although I'm not a big DC guy myself. Nothing wrong with DC, just a Marvel guy. But he's the guy who basically revolutionized Marvel's cosmic storylines, like the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, as we see them now, are heavily based on his on Dad Abnett's sort of reboot of all things cosmic in Marvel. Whether it was Drax, Groot, Rocket, Quill, they were all based. The way they are now is very heavily based on the new ones. Yeah, more DC. Yeah, it's cool, man. I grew up on Marvel. I grew up on oh God, my first comic books were Daredevil, Spider-Man, and Wolverine. I'm a huge Wolverine fan. Love the X-Men. Love Wolverine. He's like my number one favorite comic book character of all time. Partially because he's Canadian like me. I'm a Canuck. That's right. The good old Knucklehead here. But yeah, I grew up on Marvel more than DC. Although there's been some great DC stuff over the years. They've had some great stuff. Yeah. Oh, it's looking so cool. It's like I'm so happy with him. Big old beefy guy. Oh, I love it. I'm just waiting for this base to dry up a bit more. Then I can give it a quick little dry brush. I'll use some I might use some Florentine gray, and I also use a little bit of Wraith Brown. Right, I like that with my base. I go for like the gray base, right? Sort of in the middle of cities. I've always done that since way back in third ed or fourth ed when we did City Fight. I made all my bases look like they were fighting in the ruins of buildings, gray dust everywhere. And I just kept up with it because it ties all my armies together, right? Yeah, but I also like to put this on because it adds a little bit of character. I had most of Claremont's X-Men rep until after Mutant Massacre. Yeah, that was good. Claremont was probably one of the definitive writers. It's unfortunate so far that one of his biggest storylines, well, Fox has managed to mess up twice, and that's the Dark Phoenix saga. And I didn't like how they did it in X-Men Last Stand because they turned her, basically this cosmic being into a mental issue, which I didn't think did anything good for people with mental issues, but also it took this massive cosmic being and made it her having a bad day. And then in, what was it, X-Men, whatever the last one is, I didn't actually even see it in theaters. I just did not like it. Yeah, the last movie was really bad. But again, they gave her the cosmic powery stuff, but even then it was like, it still wasn't the same. It didn't have the emotional impact that it should have had. That was a huge storyline, and it was one that affected the comic books even to this day. Like even now, we're still dealing with stories with the Phoenix in one shape or another, whether it's with Jean or Echo or the latest Avengers stuff. They did with the Avengers of 10,000 BC, and Phoenix is there, right? And she had a relationship with Odin and is actually the mother of Thor. Retconning. There you go, right? And like they've had Old Man Phoenix, which is Wolverine in a far future. He's still alive, and he was a Phoenix. They actually just changed it. A lot of Phoenixes lost their power. There still is a Phoenix out there, but Old Man Phoenix is just now Old Man Logan again. So it's and he's taking care of a baby Starbrand in some future with Thor's daughters, rebuilding the galaxy sort of thing. So yeah, it's the stories are so convoluted now, right? It's because since then there's only been the Morrison run, astonishing, and not too many huge titles. Right now, um, they have this whole. Oh, it runs through every X-Men book. The X-Men have recently, the last couple of years, they did the whole X-Men have their own island of Krakoa. It's actually, that living mutant island is actually their home now. They found a way to cheat death through basic cloning. If you're dead, they have a backup of your memories, and they have 5 mutants whose powers together can bring anyone back to life. I mean, it sounds pretty crazy. They've cheated death. It's pretty huge, but there's some consequences to it, and it's becoming very and it's they're going for the long story on this. There's little storylines in it, but they're going for the long story, where characters are now changing drastically. Kurt Nightcrawler has become. He tried to create a mutant religion, and that didn't work out very well. Um, is that Hickman? I can't remember who's writing. It's a whole bunch of different writers right now. Um, Beast has gone Dark Beast in the worst way. He's doing whatever it takes to take out anybody who's perceived enemy of Krakoa. There's a whole political side to it. They're part of the UN. They have these big Hellfire Gala nights where they invite heroes from all over the Marvel Universe. They show up in over-the-top clothes, and it's huge. Right? It's become this big. They have a quiet council where there's a whole bunch of people. A whole bunch of the mutants have created their own council, and there's rules. You can't, mutant shall hurt a human. But then, of course, they have the X-Force team, which Beast has completely turned into his own Hitman squad, to the point now where they're lining up a big battle between Beast and Wolverine, like a massive battle between the two of them. That's my dishwasher going off. A massive battle between Wolverine and Beast. Beast at one point turned Wolverine into his own personal weapon. Wolverine broke out, and now Beast has cloned himself and a whole bunch of Wolverines. They're just mindless killing machines, but he's got a whole ton of them. Avengers vs. X-Men was really cool. They're as much as those things are really cool, I'm getting a little tired of Marvel doing these major events every single year, because they always have to go bigger. They've gotten to a point where, Avengers versus X-Men, they had Secret Wars where they blew up the it is a mess. It's going to be a huge mess, but I think they're getting near the end of it, because right now they're going to be doing the Fall of X. They had the House of X, the Power of X, where they set everything up, and they've had all these Sword of X. They've had all these big things, basically setting the mutant population up as this big part of the Marvel universe. They've got they've terraformed part of Mars, and they have stuff there. It's crazy. It's absolutely insane. House of M was a big one. That's when it devastated the mutant population at the end. That's been fixed, and now it's got way too much power. Avengers X-Men was huge, and it was cool to see where people lined up. Wolverine being with the Avengers. There's a lot of cool stuff in there. But now they're doing Fall of X, which is going to be, I think, the end of this particular mutant utopia, because it's really not. I think it'll be the end of that. And I think we'll see the X-Men become, hopefully, I'm kind of hoping at some point, I was hoping for it after the whole Secret Wars thing, where we get sort of a reboot and things would go back to being a bit smaller. They're getting really, really big. Multiversal Avengers, Multiversal X-Men, Multiversal Spider-Man. It's all over the place. I'd like to see them get back to the core of what made these armies, these comic books great. And stop rebooting a series every 12 to 24 issues. It's getting ridiculous. We've just had We had the Hulk is big. We had Immortal Hulk, which was which was like almost a horror comic book. And then we had Hulk, which dealt with the fallout of that. And now we're going back to the Incredible Hulk series. It's just it's all over the place. It's crazy. But yeah, my channel is Immortal Hulk was great. Is about more about these models than anything else when I have a chance to do them. This is why I started doing lives, because it allows me to get stuff done. Wow, it's midnight here. Wow. Let me go for a little bit longer, but I have to get to bed soon. It is getting late. But I think this base is pretty much done. I really want to get this guy done. I really want to get him done. What was I going to do? Yes. So we're going to do some Fenrisian Gray. Try saying that 12 sounds fast. Just as a dry brush over top of the Astrogranite Technical. I love that. The fact that I don't have to wait for sand to dry anymore. The blue mixture is fantastic. I'm just going to give this a quick dry brush over top here. I don't want to go crazy. I want to pick out, obviously, the higher edges of everything, because I don't want to go nuts, though. I don't have to go nuts. No. Keep our sanity. I don't want to go crazy. Do a little bit of dry brushing here, which is fun. Looks like a good dry brushing. All right. Yeah, Immortal Hulk was good. I liked the fact that you found out, and spoilers here, you found out that the Hulk is the necessary opposite to the One Above All. One Above All is basically the god of the entire Marvel multiverse. He is like their god, the god of gods. The Hulk is the ultimate destroyer of everything. They're the yin and yang, right? Do you have any of those? How many of those do you have? Have like a collection tour? Well, right now, I haven't done a lot of collecting comic books because they're getting bloody expensive, like everything else. But I do have a ton of them. I'd have to get them all out. And if you know me, I have kids, I have a family, so getting them out is not something I can do without having them all over the place, and then I risk them being destroyed by my kids, which is a no. I will eventually show them off, but yeah, I have lots of comic books all over the place. Like I said, I started in the 80s. I went through that weird time that was the 90s, when we almost lost Marvel Comics and DC Comics. If you don't know about that, that's a whole other story. That's a whole other crazy story. One that we are dangerously on the edge of repeating. Oh, how many of these do I have? Oh, sorry. Lots. Yeah, I have lots of them. Again, getting them out would require me having them out with my kids around, and that ain't going to happen because I put a lot of time and energy in these. But I have lots, mostly like these guys, some Space Marines, right? Genetically engineered superhumans with powerful armor and guns. These guys are awesome. I've been playing with these. I've had these guys since I'm playing the same army, the Ultramarines, since 95 during the second edition of the game. So I've had them for a long time. But yeah, comics, yeah. Yeah, as a stepped out 10-year-old, yeah, I put mine away because, yeah, I don't. It's not their fault. They're inquisitive. They want to know, but I do not want them to break my stuff because I put a lot of time and energy into this, and I do not. Oh, well, congratulations. Hopefully that comes out for you ASAP. I have. Don't like to give away too much information because it's the internet, and the internet's crazy. But I have 4 kids myself. But lots of kids. But yeah. So right now I'm just going to repaint the base here. I want to make it look nice and snazzy and clean. It's always a good thing to do. Like my models to look. I'm no expert. I've painted enough models. I'm no expert. But yeah. I'm no expert, but I do like my models to look at least clean and somewhat professional looking when they're done. Right. I used to paint the base sides here gray for the longest time. But I found that when I started doing them black, it made them pop more. I know there's just a bit more of a separation in the model and the table it's on, but it always to me made me feel they pop more. I'm gonna let that dry up now. And I think we're gonna call that model done, which makes me super happy. Because it's one that's been going on for weeks and weeks and weeks. I've been slowly painting as it's been going on. But yeah, okay. Oh, I think I'm gonna call him finished now. I know it's shocking, but I think he's done. I don't know. You guys tell me what you think. What do you think of him? I think he's come out pretty well. Got a bunch of different colors on there. Some green, red. I'm excited and nervous at the same time. I feel like I'm immature at 34 and selfish buying books, video games, and supposed income will be. But having a kid would be cool. Okay, I'm gonna tell you this right now, man. Having a kid is like nothing else you will ever do in the entirety of the world, ever. Either will be sacrifices you're gonna have to make. Disposable income will disappear. You're gonna have lots of sleepless nights at the beginning, and you're gonna doubt the hell out of yourself. You're gonna question stuff. You're gonna lose your temper. You're gonna get angry. You're gonna feel guilty. You're gonna feel like super amounts of joy when they just smile at you. Like you'll be having a horrible day, and your kid will run up and give you a hug and give you a smile, and all that just disappears. Yeah, it'll be bring me. Oh, sorry, I missed that mini word. Bring me Gambit. Oh, Gambit. Anyways, but yeah, it is super cool. It's super amazing, super frustrating, super like anxiety and stress will go through some days, but it's awesome. It is fantastic having kids. It's just like anything in life. It's not just one thing. It's not just always black and white. They are simultaneously the greatest joys and greatest stresses you will ever have. Absolutely. But yeah, there you go, guys. I think I'm going to call. Yeah, ditto, 2 daughters here. Yeah, like it's amazing. It's the best thing, and at the same time, the craziest thing you've ever done. There are going to be some nights where you're just going to watch them sleep as a baby and go, "I'm helped make that." It'll blow your mind. Other days, you'll look at them and go, "Oh my God, I have made the biggest mistake. This kid, I'm going to ruin this kid. This kid does not deserve me. I am a horrible human being. What have I done?" It's just all over the place. Some days you're going to be your happiest days, you're going to be your saddest days. You're going to lose your cool and yell at them and feel like an absolute shit. And other days you're just gonna you'll say the right thing. You'll watch them and they go, "Hey Dad, look what I can do for the 800 millionth time." And it'll be that 800 millionth time that you really look and they see it and you see the joy in their eyes. So yeah, just light up your day. My dog does that. Yeah. There'll be days where I've got some older kids now where it's like, "Oh Dad, you don't understand, you're so lame. Oh my God, Dad, no." Right. So it's it's all over the place, but it is absolutely rewarding because then that one time when you're just doing whatever you're doing and they come up and give you a hug for no reason, and they just go, I thought you needed that, Dad," and you're like, "Oh," right? Or one of my twin boys goes, "Hey Dad, I thought about you today. I missed you so much." It's like, I had a horrible day that day too. It's like, oh wow, all the other stuff is so unimportant now because my little guy said that he missed me today. None of the other stuff matters. So you'll love it. You'll absolutely love it. I don't know, guys. What do you think? Should I call that done now? I'm pretty happy that I like it. Lots of cool stuff. I think I'm gonna call that done, which makes me very happy. And just one of the things, the gear gut stuff, just the sizing. There's one of the new Space Marines, and there's the orc next to him. That's an orc. That's not even like a war boss. That's a weird boy, or they call the odd bruiser. Look at the size of him. He's massive. He's absolutely huge. That's what orcs should be. That, like, wow. Yeah, the high school years are just wonderful. Not there's good, but I know one of my oldest is now a teenager, and we're starting to see that. Nice work, thank you, sir. Just cheers you out so much. Cures a terrible day of work. Yeah, thank you. Hope. Hey, man, that's what this is about. That's why I have these chats. People seem to enjoy just having a chat. I think it's something that we all need. Someone we can just have a place to talk and listen to someone as worldly and as experienced and as amazing as I am, and humble too. So humble. No, it's a lot of fun. I'm enjoying these a lot. It's become one of the highlights of my week is just having these chats, hearing from you guys, being able to talk to you guys right away and enjoying that. It's a lot of fun. And I'm so glad I'm on vacation this week. Oh, that's why I'm staying up a little bit later. I can sleep in a bit tomorrow. I can sleep in on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Oh my God, I'm going to get so much sleep. It's going to be amazing. But I am very happy with this orc weird boy. It kind of makes me want to go and buy more. But I'm going to be saving. I'm saving my monies for 10th edition because I won't get it right off the bat. The pre-order is going to sell it like that. But I do want to get the new box set. Although it's probably going to be well over $300 here in Canada. The rumor is £150 in the UK. If we translate the way Games Workshop does, literally, that'll be about 300 and some odd bucks Canadian. Actually, I'm going to look that up. Let's go. Pounds to Canadian. Yeah, let's go 150 pounds. Oh, not 1,000. Right now, let's go by now. The 150 pounds sterling is $255 Canadian. Well, I love to I'd love to think that would be the price. I have a feeling it's going to be closer to $300. Even though, honestly, for the models you're getting, it's not that bad. I want the new Terminators so bad. The new Terminator Captain, the new Terminator Brain looks cool. The new Lieutenant model looks cool too. Was it Inferno Squad, Inferno Squad there, and the new Stern Guard. I mean, that's epic for me playing Space Marines, and all the new Tyranid stuff looks cool. Although I'll probably end up selling that to somebody. Just doing a homecation? Yes, I am. I'm not going anywhere. Kids still have a school. There's all the other stuff. It just don't want to be at work for a week. Went to Milwaukee, Wisconsin last year, and that was fun. At Phoenix, Arizona. Taylor Swift, cool. Yeah, I haven't done that. And there he is, Mr. Frost and Fist himself, Mythos. I just want the Dreadnought. Yes, I forgot about the Dreadnought. That Dreadnought looks awesome. Arizona rocks. I don't know, does it? Does it really, though? Yes, it does. Cannon prices are getting weird. Yeah, they are getting weird. They're all over the place. They don't... they say they fixed them to go with... the standard sort of currency deviation, but it's all over the place. Your face looks awesome, sir. No, just not summertime. It melts. Yeah, I can see that. And you live in Arizona. Jeez, who wants to live in Arizona? Sedona was really awesome. I don't know, man. People live all over the place. The 10th edition box was my first purchase of Warhammer stuff and thought, yeah, it's been a... Okay, that's a lie. That doesn't prove Arizona. That's a lie. What have I picked up recently in the last 5 years? There's the Aggressors, Reavers. My wife picked up a box of... Well, there was the last box set. I got the Recruit edition because it's $60 and not 100 and some odd bucks for the last one, or 200 and some odd bucks for the full set. So it was nice to get a little something. And then I bought another model that I'm not talking about until it's done. I haven't started it yet. Oh, my wife did buy me some Outriders that I have to build and paint. Does it get humid in Canada? Depends on where you live. Certain areas, yes, certain areas, no. Like crazy humid. It is starting to. Again, define crazy humid because we live in different zones. I'm much farther north than Arizona. Um, yeah, it can get humid here, especially. I don't know. I don't want to get in the climate change debate, but our winters are getting crazier. We've had some insane winters recently. Just so much snow. They're getting colder, and our summers are getting hotter. To the point where we're like, and it's crazy. Like right now, there's lots of places across Canada that are dealing with floods right now, like massive floods. There's other places that are having like massive overheated forest fires. It's nuts. It's just getting crazy. Yeah, dry heat still becoming. Yeah, it's becoming weird. We have some humid summers here. There's some days you're just like, I don't want to move because it's so hot. And we had like the weirdest couple weeks. Even now, we're just coming out of it. We had a week where it was just crazy hot. We went from like, having snow at the beginning of April to a couple weeks of just crazy hot. It just jumped. Then we had a massive snow, a massive windstorm, massive storm broke a, no, sorry, massive ice storm. We said ice on everything, branches snapping everywhere, and then super hot. And then we went to like a week of just rain. No bueno, yeah. I'm glad I randomly tuned to this channel. This is fun chat. Well, I'm glad you randomly tuned in too. It was mid-90s week. It was way too early. Yeah, we've had the same thing. We've had so much weird weather. Going from like, oh look, it's becoming. We in March we started getting typical March weather. Okay, it stopped snowing. It's still cold, but it's the right temperature. And then boom, ice storm. Just a good chunk of Ontario, Quebec, getting into the New York State and all that stuff. Just ice. Boom. I had branches breaking everywhere. Trees were falling down. I'm surprised we didn't have power outages. Um, um, and then, like, that was weird enough, right? We really had an ice storm at that time of the year. Then it got unseasonably warm, and the shock to the system of going from just super cold to super warm just caught us all. Because you're like, oh my god, I'm sweating now. What's going on? And then temperatures dropped again to about seasonal, and then we just had rain for like. I think today's the first day we haven't actually had rain since probably last Sunday. It was like Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And I'm like, oh my God, it's still raining. Like today it didn't rain. Yesterday it rained a little bit, but it was like 6 days of just rain. Excuse me. In a couple of days it was nonstop. It's like you woke up that morning, it was raining. You went to bed, it was raining. You woke up the next morning, it was still raining. Like it's just a ton of rain. So it's all over the place. All over the place. But very early cold springs getting rain streaks. Yeah, it's crazy, right? Rain, what's that? Well, you see what happens is when a mummy cloud no, that's something else. Yeah, man, it's nuts. It's been crazy. Uh, it's and like today we had the windows open because it was a nice, not super hot day, right? The car was a little bit warm when I got into it today. It was a bit weird. I'm like, wow, I got to roll down a window just to get some of the extra heat out. But guys, I think I'm going to call it there. It's 12:30. I should probably get some sleep. Thank you very much for everybody who joined Burnt Dice. I'm super glad you tuned in. I'm so glad you had a fun chat. I hope to see you again soon. And I will see you guys next weekend. If not before then, I'm definitely going to be showcasing this bad boy off now that he's done. I'm going to show him off, and yeah, I think but I do think it's time to move to sleep. I'm getting tired. It's late now. Yes, thank you, Warmat. It was a good fun. Thank you for everybody for being there. As always, keep rolling those dice, and I will see you guys later on this week with a video and next Saturday. Hope to see everybody there. I'll see you later. Bye.